Hi, I'm Kathy Kiely, president of the Ad Club, and welcome back for another episode of the Big Orange Couch. And today we have some special guests, and I will say today the sun is out and life is good. And that's who's joining us today. Gentlemen, welcome to the Big Orange Couch.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks
we
for having
have
us.
with us David Oksman, head of marketing, and James Macdonald, director of Good Vibes. So you did a great presentation today. People really enjoyed it. We had some really terrific other brands in the room that I think were anxious to talk to you about partnering afterwards. For these people who are watching the Big Orange Couch, just take us back a little bit, just a little history of how the brand started.
I'll let you take that one.
Sure, absolutely. So the brand was started by two local brothers from here in Boston area, and it started in the early 90s. They were hawking t-shirts up and down the East Coast, not having that much success, but having a really good time, meeting lots of people, and living out of a van. Lots of peanut butter jelly sandwiches and pizza. And in '94, when they were on the road, they had a discussion about the media and the negative news that was coming into the world and how it had an impact on people and their disposition. And maybe the world needed a superhero whose positive and optimistic disposition is what set him apart. And from that, they drew our first character, which is Jake. And ever since then, optimism has taken hold of the brand, and we've grown to over a $100 million brand off of this belief of optimism and spreading the power of helping kids in need.
And it's such an interesting business model that you have, and I think people who left your presentation today realize the potential of the brand that's just rooted in optimism. Talk a little bit about now from these early starts and the t-shirts, what you're building from a brand and charity standpoint.
Yeah, you know, again, it's about a community of optimists. And the brand, people think of Life is Good as the t-shirt guys. We come into work every day thinking of ourselves as the optimism guys. So our product and the way we spread optimism, it's through a few things. You know, product is certainly one. The other is nonprofit work. So the Life is Good Kids Foundation, the Life is Good Playmakers are the action arm of the Kids Foundation. They work with child care providers all over the world, from Haiti, here in Massachusetts, and places like Mississippi Delta. They work with child care providers that are dealing with kids who are victims of trauma in various forms, violence, illness, poverty. And they use play therapy and really specific techniques that these teachers and child care providers can use in the classroom to give these kids a chance. You know, when a child faces trauma in many forms, they lose the ability to play. They lose the ability to be an optimist. And when they don't play, when they aren't living with the notion that there is a second chance, then they're more likely to be at risk for drug abuse in their own life, and all sorts of social factors that can lead to death. So the work we do is about spreading optimism. As a brand, we say simply, it's important to kick back and have some fun. And through our nonprofit work, we say fun and play is actually the most important building block a child can have. So.
Yeah, everything we do is about our mission, and our mission is to spread the power of optimism and help kids in need. Everything that falls out from there, things like product, marketing, operations, those are tactics that support the mission. So we believe that we can be most successful when we rally people around the belief that we have in the power of optimism and helping kids. So specifically, when we make a positive t-shirt, you're sharing that message with somebody on their own terms. A part of the profitability from it is going to help the kids. And from a marketing perspective, everything we do is about giving our consumers the tools to spread the power of optimism and help kids. So whether that's building our community on Facebook and Twitter, having an amazing 2-day festival that's a fundraiser, all those tools are just allowing people to be happier, to spread more optimism, and in doing so, help kids in need, because ultimately the profitability impacts the playmakers, and the playmakers are giving joy and optimism back to the lives of kids who need it most. So it's a real virtuous cycle, and we just happen to make good t-shirts, but what we're really about is rallying people around the belief.
Absolutely. So talk to a little bit, you would make any traditional marketer very, very nervous. I would say, what are you guys doing? You're not doing anything. There's no billboards, there's no TV, there's no radio. But obviously, you look at your social media fan base and what's happening through social, both with your events. Maybe you could talk a little bit about how you market and go back and talk about that music festival.
So, traditional advertisements don't work for us because if you're not an optimist, there's no billboard, advertisement, or radio spot you're going to hear that will convince you to think a certain way. And the other side of that equation is that it would make no sense for us to advertise the product, because the product takes the product is nonprofit work, it's t-shirts, it's events, it's entertainment. So out of those ideas about how do we spread the word, the reality was optimists are spreading the word about life is good on their own. People who saw the product on a tire cover or a t-shirt, the message resonated with them, and they sought it out. So it's a true grassroots movement in terms of how it was built and how it spread. And out of that grassroots and community that we saw happening naturally, the idea came about, well, how do we rally these people that love the brand and want to connect with each other to do some good in the world? And out of that will be more grassroots, more people talking, more enthusiasm about what Life is Good's about. So we developed Life is Good festivals as a way to create unique fundraisers and gather this community together for sort of an affirmation that life is indeed good.
When we talk about brand extensions, first of all, I think you probably can look at your t-shirts and figure out pretty quickly what your consumer is interested in. You said they tend to be dog lovers. They tend to be outdoors people.
Oh, yeah.
Family driven.
Family motivated, yeah, family driven. So how do you think about brand extension when you have those insights?
That's a really good question. It certainly is built around the idea that our fans will give us permission to bring Life is Good in places that make sense. So, life is good at the beach. Life is good when you're having a nice cup of coffee. Life is good in those simple moments and simple times. So any product or brand extensions that fit for Life is Goods are ones that, again, I think I'll use the word affirmation again, are affirmation of the real concept behind the brand. So, a music festival or, an entertainment event, that made a lot of sense for us because that's an opportunity for people to come together and celebrate. So, we look for new ways to spread the power of optimism.
Well, sometimes we're in the t-shirt business, and so I have a gift for you both, and this is our t-shirt for you.
I love it.
Nice.
If you ever get out of your Life is Good t-shirts, I don't know. And it says, I sat on the big orange couch. You won't see many of these around town, so you should feel very privileged.
Exclusive club.
It's a very exclusive club.
Thank you very
So
much.
thank you both for being here. This was a lot of fun today.
Honor is ours.
Fun for us as well.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us once again on the big orange couch. And remember, life is good.